So all hope was lost when you found out that they're a lost cause. All hope was lost when you found out that they're a lost cause. This message is telling me that you were around someone, you were spending time with someone who they weren't about anything. And I'm hearing ultimately you felt like time was wasted, but I'm hearing that it was time well gained. I feel like it was time well gained because you saw what you needed to see in this person in order for you to make the right move for yourself. Blinded by the illusion of what could be is what I just picked up on. Blinded by the illusion of what could be. So you saw something in this person that maybe they didn't really have that quality. Maybe you saw it because you wanted it, but they don't hold that quality. They don't have that. That's not a part of who they are. So many times we do this, right? We want someone to be someone in our life that we feel that we would like to have. Very specific with what we see or what we want to see. But then it's like eventually you realize that that person is the person you want is not the person in front of you. And a lot of times I'm hearing our eyes will blind us from seeing the truth. Because of our nature to be attracted to what we see, we can get caught up in that space where we're like, that person is fine. Like, they look good, you know. You like someone because you feel like they're attractive. But they don't, there's so many other qualities that they do not have. And there's so many of us that will bypass those other qualities just because I heard you get geeked. Geeked, like in the moment. Feel in the moment so much that you don't care about anything else. You don't care if it's possible that that person might not be the one because you are wielding your energy to, it's almost like, I'm not going to be negative. You can see what you see, but no, I'm not going to be negative. See, that's not smart. That's not smart to say, I'm not going to be negative, and you're standing right before someone who is causing you to have a negative experience or a low frequency experience, a low vibing experience, whatever you want to call it. That's not smart to do. You know, and then by the time you realize that the person is a lost cause, you put so much into it. You put so much energy. You could have came out your pocket a lot for someone. You just put so much effort into the situation that has been a lost cause because the person is a lost cause. The patterns were not right. I heard the patterns were not right. So this person had a certain pattern and you didn't like the pattern that you saw. There was something that they would do consistently and it was a complete turn off for you. It made you like question yourself, like, why do I keep on dealing with this? Why do I keep on dealing with this energy? Because you're putting your best energy forward. I feel like that's what you did for this person. You put your best energy forward. And it's almost like the other person was stepping back. The more you gave, the more they took away. You wondered why you were feeling drained. That's why. The whole relationship or situationship was imbalanced. The more you give, the more you don't have for yourself. You feel at that point heavy and overwhelmed. You try to ignore it, but you keep going, but it's bothering you. You get frustrated, and whatever you're doing, you don't even want to do it anymore because that means you're starting to get depressed now. The thing you love to do, you won't want to do it anymore because the depression is really setting into your heart. into your psyche, your mind, body, your soul, spirit, and it begins to consume you and eat you alive. That's what happens when we end up staying with a person that we're not supposed to be with, and that is not serving the proper purpose in our life. I feel like I heard you're learning now. It took some time, as it does for all of us. But now many of you are like, no. Now you're like, I see. I'm not going to act like I don't. Because most of the time, that's the problem. When we see something, we act like we don't see it because we want something that's not there. But it's like, I feel like you're saying, I'm not lost anymore. I used to accommodate situations that I knew were not the greatest for me. I feel like you did, as many of us have. You accommodated situations that weren't necessarily for you, but it was like comfortable. Someone can give so much in a certain area where you feel fulfilled, and then you just settle for that. But there's an area that you desire that's much more grand than what they are providing. And so many of you are willing to sacrifice that to be with a person that you hope could be that one. Then you realize that they're not that one. And it's like, oh, well, I think I should move on now because I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time. The faster you can see that you're wasting your time with a person, the better it is for you. And don't be blinded by the looks, man, because I feel like that's another thing that really has people tripping. People be tripping because of that physical attraction. It could eat you up and spit you out. And you'll be left feeling empty. Why try to stay with someone just because they're attractive if they're not treating you right? You know, that doesn't make sense. Or you allow their attractiveness to make you feel like there's a way for this person to magically change overnight, and they will magically be everything that you want them to be, but they're only able to accommodate to the physical attraction that you have towards them, maybe a couple of other things, but it's still not enough for you and what you truly want in your life. That's settling. And eventually, and don't let them have like really bad character traits, which is usually the problem, because you will be miserable. Absolutely miserable. And I think a lot of you like just learn that, and you're like, if I'm going to be in misery, why am I going to stay here? It just, when you really think about it, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to stay here with this person if they don't know how to treat me. See, that's when that self-value comes into play. Because when you value yourself and you know what you want, there's just certain things that you're not going to accept, no matter who it is. Because you know what type of person you are, you know what type of heart you have. So you learn to set boundaries. You learn to do that. And you don't have to be crazy with it and be all rude and outlandish. You could just state the facts of how you feel and what you expect in a relationship. I feel like relationships thrive when individuals know how to do that. And it doesn't have to be in a way to start an argument. I'm also getting that many of you are timid to speak up about what it is that you desire. It could be because you're not used to expressing what you desire, because you don't do it often. Many of you kind of just like sway with the person, but you don't have, and that's okay to a certain extent, because you don't want to lose yourself in the sway trying to be what you think they want you to be, because then the person is just going to do what they want, and they're not going to feel like they have any standard to live up to for you. You know? It's like, now, so you don't have anything to say about anything? Oh, so I could just do it whatever I want and you won't say anything? Then I feel like it could be an unintentional aspect of their subconscious that will just do whatever, because you're not expressing to them what it is that you like and what you expect. Like, you know, I feel like it's okay to have expectations in a relationship because that's a part of setting boundaries. And I also feel like it's a part of you being honest with yourself and you being yourself. And you making sure that you don't lose yourself off the strength of trying to become what you think somebody wants to be. If you come through and you're being you, and that person that you are interacting with doesn't like it, then that person is not for you. That person is not for you. It's just not. Okay, so, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to like beat yourself up about that, because that's just reality. You could be physically attracted to someone, but when you like communicate with them, maybe it's not there, or maybe they're not a romantic partner, they're more of a friend. It just depends on the feeling and the vibe that ignites when two souls speak. Okay? You have to know what you want in order to say what you want. Spirit just said that, which is true. You have to know what you want in order to say what you want. So if you found yourself in a relationship and you were always the one to say, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, or they ask you what you want to do and you don't even take time to think about it, it's just like, oh, choose whatever. I think sometimes that's okay, but if you're doing that all the time, that means that you really don't know. So that means that you have to take time with yourself to figure out what it is that you like, what it is that you want, and feel okay about it. It's not bad for you to say what you want. I feel like sometimes people feel almost bad about it, like as if they're doing something wrong to express themselves in such a way. And that's just like honest, regular, I feel like that's regular communication. It's just like this energy that keeps poking at me that many of you have felt like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. You felt like in a relationship that you were walking on eggshells. That's already a bad place to start. Like if you feel like that, you want to really evaluate the situation. I feel like many of you have grown from this space, but for those who have not yet, and you're still going through this, there's no reason for you to feel like you can't express yourself and say what it is that's on your mind. It's just your delivery. I think that's what matters the most, your delivery. Because it's the intention, you know, when you're intentional and you're coming from a place of, look, this is me. Who are you? So regardless of who they are, you still say who you are. You still express who you are. There's beauty in that because it's real and it lasts longer. It's more durable. When you come through in a relationship of any kind, I think, and you're kind of trying to alter yourself to be what you think is acceptable, it's almost like the relationship has already failed, because you're going to end up feeling like a sense of insecurity just because you're not truly being yourself. So you're going to keep on trying to work to be someone that you're not, and then you're going to feel self-conscious because you're going to feel like, I'm not being myself, and am I doing it right? It's always going to be like, is it my fault? You're going to always blame yourself. That's not healthy. And in an environment where you're always told to be what you're not in order to be acceptable, this could be very confusing. And this is why I talk about these things, because it's time to retrain. It's like strength training of the mind, though. Knowing that it's okay to be you. Like, you know. There's a fight for your mind. There's a fight over your mind. And to a certain extent, you don't really have anything to do with it, which I know that sounds crazy. But that's the download I just got. And I agree. Do you? Everybody wants your mind. to use it against you. Put things in it that aren't the best for you. Make you think that those things that aren't the best for you are the right things to do. And then you start functioning and taking action in your life from that space that's tainted. And you didn't taint it, but you didn't know that you should reject it. So you accepted it, but it's not good for you. Do you know we fight that every day? So the strength comes in when you say no and when you reject it and you're like, I'm not doing that. I know. No, I'm not doing that because I see what that is. So when you see that, call it out so that you don't accept it by mistake. Like, oops, wait. There's so many of these instances that it's easy to accept this way by mistake because it's coming from every which way. Like you're the target and there's arrows being thrown at you. You need one of those, I heard Spartan, what's that? Like a shield, and it's big and round like Captain America. That thing is what I'm thinking about. And it's almost like the shield is the armor of God. The shield is your understanding. The shield is your ability to think on your own. And you go by your own thoughts. That's the shield. That's what protects you. Wisdom, she protects you. Once you continue to align yourself with that divine alignment in such a way, your life begins to change, and things that you used to accept, you won't accept anymore. So it's less likely that you'll say, I keep on getting these same energies that walk into my life in different bodies, and I'm tired of them. I'm tired of dealing with this same energy all the time because I know this person is no good for me, but somehow I keep attracting them. Why? Anytime that happens, it's just because that aspect of self that you aren't activating needs to be activated, because once it's activated, you're going to recognize when that person steps up and you're going to say no. You see? You're going to reject it. You're going to use your shield, that armor of God that you have, because it's equipped with wisdom and intellect, love for oneself, and love enough not to actually get with someone that's not aligned with you. And I say that because if you continue to get with the person that's not good for you, you're also hurting them. The reason why I say that is because you're allowing them to treat you a certain way so that they're going to keep on being broken because you're not correcting them. So they get worse. I'm not saying it's your fault, but you cripple people when you're crippled. When it comes to, and I don't say that to offend anybody. I'm just saying anytime there's something that you can't do or you haven't learned to do, it cripples you. It makes you disabled in that area. So you have to enable yourself by educating yourself, using your intellect, using your wisdom, and accepting the fact of what is in that moment. If you see somebody's playing games, they playing games. There's no wondering if they are. If you feel it and you see it and you don't like it, you can speak on it if you choose to. If it means enough to you, or you can just walk away, you know. I'm hearing sometimes people are disrespectful in fear of something. What does that mean? Hold on. Sometimes people are disrespectful in fear and nervousness. Sometimes people can seem disrespectful and they're nervous. But if you've been with that's only, I think that's like a new thing. That's like beginning stages of a relationship. But when you've been with somebody for a while and you know that they know what you don't like and they're doing it, they're just being disrespectful. Do you want to continue to deal with that? Do you? Do you want to continue to deal with that energy, or are you going to say no? Because it's time to say no. I mean, if you want to go where you should go, you should say no. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, you know. I'm just saying that you deserve what you give, if not more. You know, it would be nice to be in a relationship where it's almost like the two individuals compete with each other just to love up on each other and do something different just to love on each other. Where's that competition at? That's a sweet competition. That's not, oh, I'm better than you. Oh, you're more than, it's just like, what is this? If you feel like you're being competed against in a romantic relationship, that's not good. The competition, I don't think it shouldn't be in such a way. If it's a friendly competition, like, who can make the best salad today? I think that's cute. But not like, I'm smarter than you. Like, come on, stop. No. This is not gonna work out. Because somebody finna get mad. Okay, that's not a good dynamic. That's not good. Let them be. And they need to let you be, And I feel like both parties should be open to each other in such a way where it's just respect and just listening. Don't always have to agree, but respect enough to listen. Acknowledge. It's not asking for too much, is it? Never too much, never too much. Yeah, so the best thing that you could have noticed is that this person is a lost cause, because it caused you to no longer be lost. Now you found because you found yourself. You no longer bound yourself. You set yourself free. Now you could be who you were made to be. You. Okay, my loves. Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember the creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.